Duel Commander is solved, or at least that's what I believe as of right now. We're playing Rograkh Silas, but it's really a Polymorph deck into Hoarding Broodlord, and then from there, you cast a Fury of Spells and win the game. Want to know more? Well, let's go check out the deck tech. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. This is Rograkh Silas, or RogSi, in Duel Commander, and I mentioned in the intro that this is really a polymorph deck. You get that by playing Rograkh for free from your command zone, and in Duel Commander, you pick one of your commanders, and then you can play that commander for the rest of the game. You do not get access to both. So in this deck, it's just always beneficial to go for the Rograkh, son of Rohgahh, and then you want to cast Polymorph, or one of your polymorph effects, because this deck has a handful of them. So you destroy your own creature, and then you reveal a creature from your library. Well, we only play the one, so you're always going to find Hoarding Broodlord. And, well, what is this? So it's an 8-mana dragon. 8 mana is actually very relevant, and I'll get to that in just a moment. So it has Convoke and Flying, and all spells you cast from exile have Convoke. You search your library for a card, exile it, you can cast that spell until end of turn. So the idea here is that you want to search up something like, here it is, a Burnt Offering. So originally printed in Ice Age, this is the Magic Online version of the card. So you would go and cast Burnt Offering, so you tap your Hoarding Broodlord, and then you sacrifice it to the Burnt Offering and make 8 black or red mana. So Magic Online does not have the card Sacrifice. If it did, I would also be playing Sacrifice today, but it doesn't, so I'm not playing it. But that's okay, because you really only need the one effect in most games. So you're going to sacrifice your dragon and make 8 mana. From there, you need something like a Shallow Grave, or, I don't know, Reanimate to bring back your Hoarding Broodlord. Okay, so that is one avenue. The other avenue is, if you have 2 mana floating, you can actually skip the Burnt Offering step. Okay, so if you have 2 mana floating, you then go get Saw in Half. So if you have a Reanimate or a Demonic Tutor in hand, you would go get Saw in Half. Or if you have plenty of mana and you don't do this, you just go get Saw in Half, okay? So from there, you Saw in Half your Hoarding Broodlord. That is such a difficult card name to say. So then you get 2 triggers, because this creature is destroyed and you make 2 versions of it. Okay, well now you can go get your Culling the Weak, so you could sacrifice one of them and make 4 black. And then you want to go get Demonic Tutor. And with that Demonic Tutor, you can go get Reanimate or Shallow Grave, whatever you want. And then you can tutor again and go get Yawgmoth's Will. You replay all of those cards that you just went and cast. You reanimate your dragon again, you could sacrifice it again, tons of cool stuff. You also have an Underworld Breach in here if you decide that you'd rather use your dragon multiple times to make mana, because the dragon doesn't get exiled, but you do need a thicker graveyard for the Underworld Breach part. So you cast your Yawgmoth's Will, you play a bunch of spells, eventually you cast Demonic Tutor into Tendrils of Agony. So this seems really complicated, but it's actually pretty deterministic. I played like a dozen games last night, and as long as you can cast Polymorph, you usually win. You either need 2 mana floating or like a Demonic Tutor style effect in your hand. So you have Dark Petition, Diabolic Intent. There's a bunch of those effects in the deck. So you're really just looking for polymorph effects in most hands, and then hands that also make mana. So you want things like Peat Bog, because they allow you to win on turn 3. So that's nice. Or your Paradise Mantle, that also allows you to accelerate a little bit. I had a number of turn 3s yesterday with counterspell backup, like Force of Will or Daze, things like that, Pact of Negation. And I even had a turn 2 with Snap backup, which was really sweet. And my opponent had a Dauthi Voidwalker in their hand. I mean, they didn't cast it. I played a Duress later and saw it. But if they had the mana to play the Dauthi Voidwalker, I could have snapped it and won on turn 2. So this deck is incredibly powerful. I think it might be the most busted deck in the format. I know that I was really excited about the Rail Monsoon Mage deck. You're not going to believe me. This deck is leagues better. Like, not even close. Like, the Rail deck is pretty good, and I like the Rail deck. This deck is so much better. Well, let's go see it in action, and I will see you in the first round. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicsforum.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicsforum.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Match number 1, and what would have been an incredible hand has the Hoarding Broodlord in it, so that's kind of a problem. We also have triple Polymorph effect, but having City of Traders Otawara plus Polymorph, I probably would have kept this if it didn't have the Hoarding Broodlord. So we're pressured into mulliganing here. This hand seems great. Let's keep it, and what the bottom? Maybe the Seething Song? Let's try this. They play Flooded Strand for basic island, and it looks like they're passing. Okay. Shallow Grave. We'll play Rograkh, play the Paradise Mantle, and now we will equip the Paradise Mantle. I think I would have preferred a land as a draw there, but it happens. We'll grab Underground Sea, equip the Paradise Mantle onto the Rograkh, pass the turn. And our opponent's playing like an instant speed interaction deck, which is why they're running the Malcolm. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not loving the spot that I'm currently in. We'll play Sulfur Vent. Let's try Vexing Bauble, and we will pass the turn. During the end step, they flash in Malcolm, so it's a 2-mana flash creature. It's a flying 2/1. Whenever it deals damage, they put a chorus counter on it. They draw a card and discard a card. If there's 4 more chorus counters on it, you can cast the discarded card without paying its mana cost. Combat Research. Yep. So now they're going to draw a card off of Combat Research as well. So they're going to draw 2, discard 1. I go to 16, they discard an island. On the end step, because they're an instant speed flash deck, I'm actually just going to draw a card off the Vexing Bauble. Springleaf Drum. It's not that great here because we already have the Paradise Mantle. We only play 2 tap effects, and we happen to draw. So I'm going to try something here, but it might not work. I'm going to Diabolic Intent away my Rograkh, and then try to replay it. Spell Snare. Okay, well that was not ideal. Wait, I'm so dumb. I was going to replay my Rog. Whoops. Not how I wanted to start this off, just making misplays. Okay, so no more misplays from here on out, right? We're just going to play better? Okay, so they'll draw 2, discard 1, and they're passing with 6 open mana. Phyrexian Tower. Let's play the Rograkh, and then we'll equip it with the Paradise Mantle. Pass the turn. Cryptic Command to bounce my Sulfur Vent and draw a card. That's fine. I could have dazed it, I'm aware, but I think I'm going to have to beat a counterspell at some point, and this daze might have value. And now they can get back their Cryptic Command. Things are not looking good for the home team here, but there are still 2 more games. Flare of Denial. So that's a sign of strength that they got rid of a Flare of Denial. We'll play the Sulfur Vent, pass the turn. They flash in a Brazen Borrower, that's fine. Now they attack for 6, I'll go to 4. And once again, if you're wondering why I don't play out the Silas, I'm not allowed to play Silas. The way that the companion rule works, or commander rule works, is you can pick one and play that creature this game. I cannot play both. They discard Snapcaster Mage, so now they can play Snapcaster Mage for free, and then it doesn't really do anything here. On the end step, I will cast an Intuition, target them. I'm mostly just trying to gain information at this point. I know that I'm not going to win this game, but I'd like to see what other counter spells they have. They're going to counter and bounce my Sulfur Vent, sure. And we ripped Polymorph. I think I'm a mana short of winning here because I can't sacrifice the Rog, so I have 3 mana. Yeah, we're just dead. Okay, game 2. This seems great. Keep. Opponent with a fast mulligan to 5. We'll begin with the Steam Vents. Ouch. Play the Rograkh, play the Paradise Mantle again, and now we'll equip the Paradise Mantle, pass the turn. Turn 1 Ponder. So the Diabolic Intent is not very good at finding the Polymorph, but it's very good in the middle of your combo turn, which is why we play it. So last game you got to see why it can be a little awkward sometimes, and hopefully this game you can see where it gets to shine. Watery Grave, we'll play that. Ouch. We'll do red, blue, Pented Prism. We'll tap the Rograkh for a blue and Preordain. We don't want either of these. We'll bottom both of them. Cabal Ritual. We will pass. They play another island. Fell the Profane. That's not terrible. We'll play Undercity Sewers. Keep the Gamble. And we will pass the turn. On our end step, they're going to flash in the Malcolm. I think we're going to kill it, because that is how their deck gains an advantage. So let's just not let them have that advantage. We will fell the Profane on the Malcolm. Okay, they play an island. Sure, so they're tapped out. This could be a good window for us to try to win. Let's cast Gamble. We'll go grab... If I get Luca, I need to keep the Cabal Ritual, and I would lose to a Daze. I feel like it's just Polymorph. We discarded the Phyrexian Tower. Play Cabal Ritual. And if they have a Force of Will, they have a Force of Will. Flare of Denial on the Cabal Ritual. Good deal, thank you. We will pass the turn. Alright, they have 3 cards still. They play a Preordain. 1 on top, 1 on the bottom. So this could be a turn where I Diabolic Intent for protection. So we'll tap this. Let's play Diabolic Intent, sacrificing the Rograkh. Yes, we'll put Rograkh back to the command zone. Remand. That's annoying. So we'll replay the Rog. I'm going to equip and pass. Because if I draw another protection spell, I can use this tutor to help win the game instead. So they're back up to 4 cards now. They play land number 5, Dark Petition. Let's play Dark Petition. Honestly, it was a good draw here. 5 mana for a Mystic Confluence. Brutal. So they got to draw 2 off that. We have to pass now. That was a devastating counterspell for them to have. The mono blue disruption deck is probably not a good matchup for us, but we are still very much in this. Murktide Regent, sure. It's a big dragon, 2 turns. So I need to find my protection spell. Currency Converter, they have 2 cards in hand now. Reality Scramble. I mean... Now I have double Polymorph, I can just try to win. Let's Reality Scramble on Rograkh. Alright, we got the Hoarding Broodlord. And now we can search our deck for a card. So typically I would grab like a Burnt Offering here. I'm just wondering if we should try to be playing around anything our opponent might have. I think we should just grab the Saw in Half. So we're going to cast the Saw in Half, targeting our Hoarding Broodlord. We'll tap it for the Convoke, and cast Saw in Half. And if they counter this, we're able to try to win next turn too. They use Currency Converter, so they're going to draw a card and discard a card. They discard a Treachery. Saw in Half. It resolves. Nice. So we will grab Burnt Offering, and now the other one. Let's go grab Yawgmoth's Will. So we're going to cast a Burnt Offering here, sacrificing one of the copies of Hoarding Broodlord. I keep on calling it the wrong name. I want it to be Broodscale, but it's Broodlord. Alright, so we made a bunch of mana here. I'm now going to Diabolic Intent away this Hoarding Broodlord, and we'll go grab a counter spell. Or they can just have Spell Center for my Diabolic Intent, sure. Let's play Yawgmoth's Will. We'll begin with a Cabal Ritual. That brings us up to 6 mana. Dark Petition. We can go grab... So a card you could theoretically lose to here. I doubt they have it or else they would have used it sooner, but it is Mental Misstep. So we'll get Shallow Grave just so I don't lose to a Mental Misstep. So we'll play the Shallow Grave. And now the dragon comes back. We'll go grab Tendrils of Agony. And then we will cast a Burnt Offering, sacrificing the Hoarding Broodlord. We'll make a bunch of black mana. We'll make a red mana in there too. There's a Gamble in our graveyard. We'll replay Phyrexian Tower. City of Traders goes away. We just want a couple more Storm here, just for... We'll Fell the Profane on their Murktide Regent just to assert dominance. And then Tendrils of Agony. Okay, so we have taken game number 2. We have not... there's actually a bunch of protection spells in our deck, and we have not really drawn them. So hopefully in game 3, we get a good mixture of mana, action, and protection. Sure, this seems fine to me. Our opponent has taken a mulligan. Gitaxian Probe, so they see my hand. Island into Ponder. They did not shuffle off the Ponder. Paradise Mantle. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain about drawing mana. We'll play the Paradise Mantle, fetch. Turning our Rograkh into a Birds of Paradise is not a bad thing. So we'll grab the Underground Sea, equip the Paradise Mantle, and then pass the turn. They play Scalding Tarn. They're fetching in their main phase. Okay. No effect. So it looks like they do want to play Malcolm this turn. Underworld Breach. That's not a bad card. Let's play Brainstorm. Wow. This is a turn 3 with Pact of Negation backup. Let's go. Alright, so we'll put Pented Prism back and the Underworld Breach. And now we want a Collective Brutality. This is actually a turn 3 with double backup. Let's grab Volcanic Island, and we will Collective Brutality. Cast the Collective Brutality, targeting the opponent to discard an instant or sorcery. Cyclonic Rift, Memory Lapse, Boomerang, Miscalculation, Preordain. All of their interaction is 2 mana. I think we just take the Miscalculation. Alright, they flash in the Malcolm, so they get a draw step and the Malcolm trigger to find another way to stop us here. So we know their draw step now. So they're going to draw 2, discard 1. And they need to find a land here off the Malcolm in order to play any of the 2-mana interaction that's already in their hand. They discard Treachery. So now they have 1 unknown card. Preordain. They put 2 cards on the bottom. So they have 2 unknown cards right now, both of which were not lands. So we're going to try to win here. Fetch. Turn 3 with double backup against the mono blue all interaction deck. Cast Polymorph on the Rograkh, and it resolves. We do want to put Rograkh back to the command zone. Hoarding Broodlord will go get the Burnt Offering. So we will click on Burnt Offering, and now we will cast it by sacrificing and tapping the Hoarding Broodlord. They drew Mental Misstep. I will cast Pact of Negation. So it's your other unknown. Burnt Offering. We'll make a bunch of black mana here. Let's play the Animate Dead on the Hoarding Broodlord. Disrupting Shoal. So they drew double free counterspell. Okay, but I believe we still get to win here. We'll play Grim Tutor. Wow, this game's insane. We'll go grab Reanimate, if I can find it. There it is. Play the Reanimate on the Hoarding Broodlord. The opponent's going to be a little sad here. Okay, so I cannot just go grab Tendrils of Agony. I am 1 mana short of doing so. But what we can do is grab a Saw in Half. And now we will Saw in Half on our Hoarding Broodlord. See, I'm getting the name right now. Hoarding Broodlord. Alright, so now we go grab Culling the Weak and Tendrils of Agony. My opponent that was on mono blue counterspells did not have enough to stop RogSi. You hate to see it. You just hate it. Tendrils of Agony. Hiya. RogSi in all commander formats. That's my own personal motto from here on out. We are 1-0 in this Duel Commander League. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2, we're on the draw. I think I'm going to keep this. Sacred Foundry into Yoshimaru. Okay. We'll play Raucous Theater, Surveil, put the Waterlogged Teachings to the yard, pass the turn. I wonder if I'm supposed to play out the Rograkh. Like, I'm not sure against a deck that has removal in it, if it's worth exposing the Rograkh early for the Paradise Mantle or not. Maybe I'll do it next turn. Carry Zev. Okay, so it looks like they're on Boros Legends. Command Tower. It's a good draw. We will play Talisman of Indulgence. Let's play the Rograkh. Paradise Mantle. I guess if I had played it out last turn, I could be casting Preordain here. So maybe I'm just wrong. Windswept Heath. 3 mana. Okay, for an Adeline. So they're just trying to aggro me to death here. If I have a good draw step, we might be looking at a win. No blocks. Okay, let's see it. Shallow Grave. Doesn't help me here. I'm going to Preordain. Neither of those are any good. Both those can go on the bottom. Steam Vents. What does a winning game look like? We'll play Steam Vents. I'm at 8. So I can't even reanimate the dragon anymore. I think I'm supposed to concede and not show our opponent what we're doing. So we lost game number 1 on the draw. Like, they were just a little bit too fast. And it's possible that my hesitance to play out Rograkh cost me that game. Solve the equation. So that goes and gets Polymorph on turn 2. We could have Days Backup. So this is a turn 3 with Days Backup. I think we keep this. Surprised and Scary, pass. Prismatic Vista. Sure, you can have your 1/1 dog. Underworld Breach. We'll go fetch Volcanic Island. You cannot get Underground Sea with an Arid Mesa, fun fact. And we want the island for days. We will play Solve the Equation. Let's go grab Polymorph wherever it is. Well, I guess if... Okay, hypothetically, Transmorgify might be better, because, like, they could have Red Elemental Blast in their deck. So we'll grab Transmorgify. Pass the turn. Inspiring Vantage. Okay, we'll take 1. And they're just going to pass here. Corpse Dance. Am I supposed to just play the long game then? Like, if they're not going to play creatures, let's just not play into their removal? I'm going to just pass here. I think it's incorrect to play into their removal. Okay. Sure. They play a Flagstones, and now they attack for 5. The longer I wait, the worse this Days gets. Maybe I made a mistake just not playing it last turn. I'm at 13 now. Duress is good. Let's Duress them. I'm still a mana short this turn, but Swords to Plowshares. What is this thing? So they have 2 removal spells. Ay. We'll get rid of the swords, and we will pass. I think I might lose this one. I don't think I can beat the Thalia. I will Daze the Thalia. So even if I had gone for it on turn turn 2, on turn 3, I would have gotten blown out though. So our opponent just had a very good draw. Okay, well they didn't. So now if I draw like a Pact of Negation or Unmask, there's a chance we win. Okay. Misty Rainforest I don't think is going to do it. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to beat that instant in their hand because they have 7 damage on board and I'm at 6. So the only play I can think of is we play the Rograkh and then they phase this out. And then I have a 1 in 84 chance of surveilling away our dragon. And then we corpse dance on the dragon. Okay, well they didn't play the phase card. Oh, they just have the Thalia. I forgot about that. So that's going to go away. So even if I surveilled into the dragon here, I lose. So I guess I was just dead no matter what. We'll grab Undercity Sewers. Oh, I didn't hit the 1 in 84. That's crazy. All right, well, I don't have much to say. Our opponent just stomped us this round. Game 1, they won the die roll and had a very fast win. Game 2, they opened up on double interaction. So we just didn't get there, unfortunately. We're 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round number 3, we're on the play this time. So we have 3 lands and a Polymorph. Yeah, we'll keep. Our opponent is on what looks to be a similar deck to what we faced last round. I guess it's time to get a little bit of revenge here. We'll play the Rograkh. I'm not going to make the same mistake. We'll just play out the Paradise Mantle. We need to draw a mana. Pass the turn. Battlefield Forge. And they kill my Rog. We'll put it back in the command zone. And we drew the dragon. No! Worst possible outcome. Okay, so new plan. I need to draw a land. And then we're going to solve the equation for Frantic Search and then win that way. They play Flooded Strand or Savannah. Smuggler's Copter, you've got it. Inquisition of Kozilek. We did not draw the land we wanted. We'll play Rograkh. Pass the turn. Mana Confluence. They play some creature that creates map tokens. You got it. And now they activate the Smuggler's Copter. We have a lot of good draws here. Let's see if we can find one. Unmask. That does it. So I can unmask, exiling the Inquisition. Target myself. Discard Hoarding Broodlord. And now we'll play Exhume. Okay, we'll go grab the Burnt Offering. We'll cast the Burnt Offering, sacrificing the dragon. We'll equip Paradise Mantle onto the Rograkh. Tap the Rograkh for a blue. Solve the equation. Let's go grab Reanimate. We will reanimate the Hoarding Broodlord. Let's go grab Saw in Half. Target our Hoarding Broodlord. So now we get 2 smaller copies of Hoarding Broodlord. We will grab Culling the Weak. And for the other one, we can grab, I don't know. Let's do a Thoughtseize. Let's try to get a little bit more info out of them about what their deck does. Skyclave Apparition, Eladamri's Call, Mawlock. Like, their deck seems pretty good. All right, we'll sacrifice our dragon and Tendrils of Agony. Let's go to game 2. This hand is probably okay. I think it's a little bit slow, but I think that this hand is most likely fine. Inspiring Vantage into Mother of Ruins. Okay. Demonic Tutor. We'll play the Sulphur Vent. Pass the turn. They played Temple Garden. Mother of Ruins holding down the fort. Okay. I'm gonna unmask them and see what they're up to. Get rid of the Duress. Flame Slash, Mawlock, Palace Jailer. So I can't play out my Rograkh early. That's what I'm learning here. We'll get rid of the Flame Slash. Cycle the Lorien Revealed. Grab Underground Sea. We'll play the Underground Sea. Preordain. I don't think I want the tower, but I do want the Raucous Theater. We'll play the Paradise Mantle. Pass the turn. They play Savannah into the Mawlock. Okay. So they have Horizon Canopy, Palace Jailer, and 1 unknown. I'll take 1. Dark Petition. That's fine draw. We'll play Demonic Tutor. Let's just go grab Transmogrify. Remember, I mentioned the fact that they're playing red. You don't want to get Polymorph versus a deck that could be playing Pyroblast. So we'll grab Transmogrify, play the Raucous Theater, get rid of the Talisman. We don't want that. Pass the turn. They play an Ajani. Okay. They still have not played out their Horizon Canopy yet. There it is. So they have 1 unknown card right now. They attack for 5. We'll go to 14. Unmarked Grave. All right. We'll play the Rograkh. Sacrifice the Sulphur Vent. Transmogrify on the Rograkh. Is your 1 unknown card a removal spell? It was not. Let's put Rograkh back to the command zone. Hoarding Broodlord. We will go grab the Burnt Offering. And from here, it's pretty simple. Like, this game should not be difficult. We will make a bunch of black mana. Cast a Dark Petition. I don't see any punish here for casting Reanimate, so I think I'm just going to cast Reanimate. Like, going to 5 life, like, I can't think of a card that kills me from 5. So, Hoarding Broodlord. We'll grab Dark Ritual. Play the Dark Ritual. And now we will saw in half. Sweet. Grab Culling the Weak and Yawgmoth's Will. Cast Culling the Weak. I guess I could die if I cast this Grim Tutor, so I probably don't want to do that. Like, if they would have had, like, I guess if they had a Bolt, they could have played it earlier, but I don't know. Maybe I should cast the Grim Tutor, but I don't see the need to risk it. We'll cast a Dark Ritual, Burnt Offering on the dragon, and now we'll play Dark Petition, grab the Tendrils of Agony. We'll unmask them, exiling the Unmarked Grave. They drew a Fury. Tendrils of Agony. So we got revenge on the Yoshimaru deck, or whatever you'd like to call it, or pronounce it. And we're 2-1. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Round number 4, we're on the draw, and I've opened up a stellar hand. So we have Unmarked Grave to go put our Hoarding Broodlord into the graveyard, and then we have Animate Dead to bring it back to life. This hand is quite powerful. This should be a pretty easy turn 3 win that could even win through removal. Elvish Reclaimer. Okay, well, they're not playing black, so they can't get a Bazooka Bog. Springleaf Drum. Let's play the Surprise and Scary on the first turn, and then we'll pass. If I drew a Dark Ritual, we could even have a turn 2 win. Or Culling the Weak. Dispel. We'll fetch. Grab Underground Sea. Tap this for a black. We'll tap the Scary for a blue. Play Arcane Signet. I guess it didn't matter because I was going to play the Signet in the middle. And now we'll play a Pentad Prism. Pass the turn. They use the Elvish Reclaimer. And they find a Yavimaya. Sure. Renn and 6. I do not care about that. They get back the Flagstones. So keep in mind, there is a Yavimaya in play. These also tap for green. Alright, time to try to win the game. We'll tap... actually, hold on. No, I think we do want to use both blue. We'll play Unmarked Grave, and we will put the Hoarding Broodlord to the graveyard, wherever it may be. There it is. And now we'll play Animate Dead, targeting the Hoarding Broodlord. They're going to activate Elvish Reclaimer in response. I mean, I couldn't think of another Bazooka Bog style effect that would be good here. Okay. What? When it enters, exile 3 cards from graveyards. I've never even seen this card before. I just got blown out. Wow. Okay. So I just saw a new card for the first time. I didn't know this card even existed. Yeah, we just lost. Okay. Next game. Now I know. All right, so we need to play around that moving forward. We have the Dragon, but we also have Frantic Search. I'm going to keep this. It's a little bit risky, but I'm going to try it. We have Mental Misstep for crop rotation or the Elvish Reclaimer. They play a Forest, Exploration, that's fine. Arid Mesa, and they pick up a Taiga. All right, Mental Misstep that Reclaimer. We draw a Talisman. We'll play Phyrexian Tower. We'll play Arcane Signet. Pass the turn. Flagstones, Prismatic Vista. They have 3 cards left. Knight of the Reliquary. Well, that is the same problem we saw with Elvish Reclaimer last game. Rite of Flame. So we would have a win if we didn't have the Hoarding Broodscale in hand. Let's play Frantic Search. Looking for a Reanimate effect here. We did not find one. Uh-oh. Discard Strike it Rich and Daze. Untap our 2 lands. Play Talisman of Indulgence. So I think at this point, I need to find Brainstorm if we want to win. Pyrogoyf, okay. So, I mean, they're going to be killing us very quickly. We find another Pyroblast, or another Polymorph effect. So I can play Luca here. What does the plus do? The plus does nothing. I could try to play Silas as a Death Touch blocker to buy time. Silas on the stack. We had a window to win this game, and I did not draw anything good off of the Frantic Search. They used the Knight, and then a Boros Garrison. Interesting. To return a Forest to their hand. I guess I could theoretically look at hard casting the Hoarding Broodlord, but it just seems very far away. And that's a Zacama. I'm in trouble. Yeah, I think I'm actually just dead. We got crushed here. Our opponent opened up on double, like, Elvish Reclaimer effect, and I didn't know about the Bazooka Bog effect in game number 1. What's weird is if we didn't have the dragon, this game would have been a win. but unfortunately I had it. All right, well, we lost. So, bummer. I really do think that this deck is broken. We've had some odd draws so far, but we're 2-2. Let's just go win match number 5. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? The 5th match, and we're facing the same commander as we did earlier, Tana and Yoshimaru. So we likely don't care about defense grid. Chain of Vapor is good, but this hand doesn't polymorph, so we're going to mulligan. Here we have the Hoarding Brood scale, which we don't want, but we do get to put a card on the bottom when we mulligan. So we will keep this. This hand is quite good. This could even be a turn 2. Maybe not. No. So I would have needed another action spell. We'll just play Urza Saga past the turn. So if I had another action spell and the Urza Saga tap for mana, it could have been a turn 2. I did have a turn 2 yesterday when I was playtesting, but this hand will not do it. Spell Pierce. Play the Watery Grave. Ouch. Play Arcane Signet. And this way I could Spell Pierce something our opponent plays. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with, playing defense grid, but I think the Arcane Signet's probably just better overall. All right, so their creature gains a little bit bigger here, goes up to a 2/2. Static Prison. I guess I'll Spell Pierce. The swing will take 2. Inquisition, great draw. So we will float a colorless, and now we can just go grab like Springleaf Drum. Dark Ritual. Let's Inquisition. Take the Aladomri's Call. So if I didn't Inquisition, we had the win, but now I have to pass the turn, which I think is going to be okay, but it'd be better if I could win this turn. We'll tap the Rog. Polymorph. Oh, I guess I need a blue, huh? That's how Magic the Gathering works. Polymorph. And now we get the Hoarding Broodlord. So we'll get Demonic Tutor and then cast Demonic Tutor. And we'll go grab Saw in Half and then just win next turn. All right, pass. They swing. Saw in Half on our Hoarding Brood scale. So now we'll grab Burnt Offering. And now the next one, let's grab Shallow Grave. Sacrifice one of the tokens. We'll play a defense grid. And now we will Shallow Grave. Paying the Convoke. This will get back to Hoarding Broodlord. Storm is 4. Let's just grab Yawgmoth's Will. We'll play Yawgmoth's Will. Storm is 5. Dark Ritual. Replay Urza's Saga. We'll cast a Burnt Offering, sacrificing the token. Inquisition the opponent's Storm 8. Okay. Demonic Tutor. Grab Tendrils of Agony. We'll Saw in Half because I can. And Tendrils. Okay, so this hand's interesting because you have Gamble for the Polymorph, and you can Thoughtseize to back it up. You have Mental Misstep. I'm going to try it. Like, this hand is a little slow, but I think it's very powerful. Sure, you can have the dog. Yawgmoth's Will. We'll play Thundering Falls. Keep the land. So next turn, I think I want to Thoughtseize plus Gamble. Sacred Foundry. That's a problem. Yep. So am I forced here to go get a removal spell? Yeah, Drannith Magistrate is definitely a problem. Let's play Gamble. I can't kill it with Collective Brutality. And I'm not really playing dedicated removal. So I think I have to get like a Chain of Vapor type effect. So I will grab Chain of Vapor here. We discard Pented Prism. I will pass. Yoshimaru is now a 2/2 when the Sekenzing comes into play. So we'll take 3 down to 16. On the end step, we'll fetch, and I'm going to grab an Undercity Sewers. Surveil trigger. Get rid of the Mana Confluence. We found a Polymorph. That's not bad. Let's Chain of Vapor the Drannith Magistrate, and then let's Thoughtseize them. We'll take the Drannith. They have a Swords to Plowshares, but I have Mental Misstep for that. And now if I draw any untapped land, we have a win. Or anything that makes us +1 mana, so like a Rite of Flame or something. They find land number 4. They attack for 3, I'll go to 10. So they're going to Fiery Confluence here. So they're saying, I don't need to hold open swords. I just want you dead. So it has to be mana off the top or else we lose. Tendrils of Agony is not good enough. Oh, hold on. I could Yawgmoth's Will into... We can bounce the Yoshimaru and hope that they don't draw a green source to kill me. That's the line. Yawgmoth's Will. And now we'll fetch for an Underground Sea. Chain of Vapor your creature. I'm dead if they draw a green mana source. I can't change that. But this line gives me the chance to win. They drew the green source. No! Back-to-back land draws kills me here. All right, game 3. I feel like I played that one relatively well, but sometimes your opponent just has it. On the play for game 3. Yeah, this hand is good. Keep. Our opponent is taking a mulligan to 5. I think I want the command tower. So the reason I think I want the command tower is if I gamble, I don't care about discarding a land when we need to build up to 4 for a polymorph effect. So they have Yoshimaru. We'll play the command tower. I'm going to escalate this Collective Brutality. I'm going to kill the Yoshimaru and then the Thoughtseize effect. Discard the Culling the Weak. Static Prison Thalia. Thalia is a pain in the butt, but we can win around that. Okay. Plains and Thalia. Yep. Preordain. Let's play the Preordain. Demonic Tutor and a land. We'll keep both of these. Play the Watery Grave. They play Flooded Strand. We'll play Wooded Foothills. Demonic Tutor. We'll go grab a Polymorph here. Transmorgify. Pass the turn. So next turn, we can snap the Thalia into the Transmorgify, but I guess we don't have a tutor in hand. Like, Gamble doesn't really count, so maybe I'm supposed to continue to set up. Will probably depend on what our draw step is. They play the Samwise, sure. That gets them back to Flooded Strand. They replay their commander, so this is a window for us to try to win. Flooded Strand, yep. I would need to draw into something good. They do have 3 unknown cards in hand, so if they have a 1-mana removal, we would lose. We'll fetch, grab Raucous Theater. That would win. So we'll keep the Persist. If our opponent has creature removal, we lose, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to just give them more opportunities to draw into it. So we're just going to try to win now. We'll snap the Thalia, untap our lands, grab Badlands, play Rograkh, and Transmorgify. The Hoarding Broodlord enters, and now it triggers, so we're going to search our library for the sacrifice effect. What is it called again? Burnt Offering. We're going to cast Burnt Offering, making a boatload of mana here. We'll make 1 red and then a bunch of black. Actually, I'll make another red. In theory, we could gamble and then go get like an Underworld Breach, but I think I'm just going to persist. And now the Hoarding Broodlord comes back. Storm is 5. We'll grab Saw in Half. Saw in Half on our Hoarding Broodlord. Tap it for the Convoke. We'll use a red and a black to pay. Storm is now 6. We get 2 more creatures. Culling the Weak is already in the graveyard. How about Cabal Ritual and Yawgmoth's Will? We'll play Cabal Ritual, and then Yawgmoth's Will is Storm 8. I could have played Gamble before the Yawgmoth's Will, but it doesn't matter at this point in the game. Like, it's over. And the opponent concedes the match. So we got a 3-2. I think that this deck is busted. Like, I know that a 3-2 record doesn't indicate that, but there's insanely broken potential here. And I think there just needs to be some adjustments to some of the cards. So what we saw was we lost against really fast draws with Disruption. And it happened twice to us in the same league. So I think we might want some more cheap interaction. I'm not sure if it's removal or if it's just more discard. Because even the game that I lost round 2, it's because my opponent opened up on double 1-mana removal spell. And I had a really good draw. And then the other game, I didn't know about Reclaimer into that weird land that I've never seen before in my life. So if I had known about that, we could have crafted a game to find like Snap or Otawara, one of our Chain of Vapor effects. We have Into the Floodmaw. Like, there's a bunch of things that I could have found, but I just didn't know. So that cost me a game. And then the following game, I was a little pinched on mana, from what I remember. But I think that there's something here. So you could look to play more free interaction, like Misdirection is a card that you could play that gets around removal and targeting and stuff like that. That's not going to slow you down. What you cut, I'm not sure. Like, I think that the deck list is actually pretty tight, so I'm not sure what you want to cut to get around that. If you have any ideas, put those down below. As always, you can find the deck list in the description down below that links to our Mox field. And thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. And as always, keep storming. What you should do is like, comment, and subscribe because there's no better way to support us. And if you enjoyed this video, head over to moxfield.com and follow us there. It's truly the best deck website on the internet. We update all of our decks there regularly with the latest and greatest technology, so you're always up to date. Once again, go check out Moxfield, and thank you for watching.